Okay. Okay, we are just set up for today's live. I'm just going to, yes, the clock has just changed. It's 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, Friday the 30th of October. Thank you so much for being with me today, where I'm going to be presenting a segment on creating content, part 1, because this is going to be spread over at least a couple of weeks. For those of you that have not been with us before, please feel free to interact with us through YouTube or any of the other platforms that we are streaming on today. In particular YouTube, because we do keep an eye on those comments very closely. For those of you that have been with us before, thank you so much for joining me again and giving me your valuable time. Really do appreciate it. So let's get started. We're going to be talking about creating content and why we actually need to do that. And this isn't a departure actually from the last few weeks where I've been talking about productivity, your own personal productivity and systems as to how to achieve that productivity. This actually fits very well with what I've been talking about the last few weeks. So content creation, a real buzzword, something that we've heard bandied around probably more so the last couple of years, and especially as we've been through lockdown and we are trying to worry about our online presence and digital marketing in particular. But what does it actually mean? Well, it certainly does not mean any of these things, which is I'll just stick a post on social media, or I'll put a few words together, I'll sit on Canva and design something myself and hope for the best. It's definitely not a random process without any thought or planning and just something that you can do on an ad hoc basis. It does need consistency. So what does it actually need to be? It really does need to be something that you've planned, thought about, and created a strategy for of what you're actually trying to achieve in your business. I'm sure many of you have seen on your, for example, Facebook threads, where you could be scrolling and you'll see so many different promotions and activity of people that have put something up there. But it probably hasn't actually been thought through, certainly on the smaller size businesses, as to what they are actually trying to achieve. If you're just after a quick sale, Friday evening emergency, I've got some leftover stock, please come and pick it up, go for it. That's going to be topical of the moment, needs to get out urgently. That doesn't really have a strategy. If, however, you're a slightly bigger business and you have a plan in mind of figures that you're trying to achieve, the numbers you're trying to hit, that's where you've really got to think about how you're going to set up your systems and get everything in a plan. Often people start to get overwhelmed by the sheer vast number of tasks that need to be done, but that's normally because they haven't sat down and thought about that strategy side of things first, the vision that they have for what they want to actually try and achieve. So before we can, well, once we've done our actual strategy side of things, the next thing you'll need to do is sit down and work out all your tasks. And then before you can move on, you'll need to have some organized systems as to how you're going to actually achieve those tasks, achieve those goals, and work to any deadlines. And it's important actually to remember that there are deadlines. They could be lengthy ones, they could be very fast moving ones. But if we don't put a deadline in place, chances are, back to that very early slide, we will do things once, post a blog once, and get busy. We'll mean to get round to doing it, but we don't quite manage to make the time to do it. So by putting in some deadlines into your task list, you will find that you will start to build up some accountability and start to actually work towards your goals, because a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. If we never actually start to take those steps, we never will achieve our targets that we've set for ourselves. And just a little quick quip from me. Content creation is not the same as content marketing. Often I find that business owners, they're very comfortable throwing around the phrase content creation. They don't talk about content marketing. And actually that's the real activity that you're trying to hit with your business. It's not the content creation that is the issue. That people really seem to sometimes have a bit of a handle of where they need to be creating content. Normally that's where also the fear sets in, because the sheer vast number of tasks that are needed just to create the content normally puts them off from actually doing anything with the content. And that's where the content marketing comes in. So a little bit like today, me being live right now, this is a commitment. The commitment was made on the 1st of September that I would be going live once a week. I have done that every week since September. We are here just like you. I have distractions, busy periods, peaks and troughs in the day, demands on my time, but the commitment has to stay, because that's how that consistency starts to come in, and that's how you start to form your habits. This has now become my habit. I know I need to prep the slides. Emily will attest to the fact that sometimes they might be a little bit close to the wire, but they get done and they are here and they are live. So it becomes a habit that you know you've got to get certain things done. And there is a reason why we go live every day. And I will come to that in a moment when I talk about video strategy regarding content. This has become our chosen route to market our business, which then reaches our audience, which then leads to us converting more clients. So this is really important for us, that this is part of our regular, like I say, consistent activity for our business. So, strategy. What kind of things would you be thinking about when it comes to your digital marketing? Most people will normally probably start the list upside down. They think the easy end is to start at social media, but the myth is that social media is not actually free. Your time and energy is also an investment, and that's something people seem to sometimes forget. If they start with a social media angle, they soon realize that you can find yourself spending 80-90% of your day worrying about social media when you haven't actually covered off your bases yet. And I have used this analogy before. It's a bit like putting your jewelry on before you know what clothes you're going to be wearing that day. You need to make sure that your house is in order before you can get to the social media content. It actually needs to be a little bit, the list needs to be in reverse to what most people tend to do. Your key foundation before you can set up any other digital marketing activity is your website. We had a team call with one of our new onboarding clients yesterday, and originally they've come on board with us for Google AdWords, campaign setup, Google marketing. However, within 5 minutes of the conversation, as we were doing a quick audit check, just a quick visual audit check online, it was really clear that the website needs attention. And the client got it immediately. I need to do my website, don't I? Yes, you do, because no amount of driving traffic to a website or to your business is going to convert if the website is not fit for purpose. So you really do need to think about where your website is at the moment, give it a good hard look, be really objective as to, would this website convert? Is it converting, and is it working for me, before you can start thinking about your content marketing strategy and content creation. Second comes blog. So again, many people have got caught up in the fact that they should be blogging. I don't know who these people are who say that they should be blogging, but we hear it quite often that, you know, oh, I think I keep being told I should be blogging. Well, yes, you should. There are some very valid reasons as to why that is. Google is your biggest audience for blogs. Google's bots are out there checking who's giving the most up-to-date, latest content, fresh and appropriate to whatever search may go into the search engines. So by you putting up regular blogs, Google will start to recognize that this website is always putting up something new and exciting. It's always relevant. People seem to be engaging with it. We're going to help them with organic SEO. Of course, it's not just about writing content. If you visit our blog site, you will notice that there will always be links to videos. There will be backlinks to reputable sites that are accredited and recognized within the industry. There will also be graphics, information. It's all set out in a particular format to make the most of the fact that we are spending a lot of time and money investing in our blog. So this is why it's really important to get your foundation right. And number 3 for us is video. We know it's tried and tested, and we're hitting 3 years now of our video marketing strategy for our business. And we have hit a real trajectory now of just hitting a real peak now of where we are going with that strategy. It was a slow burn, getting those subscribers, getting moving on YouTube. Well, I say a slow burn, we achieved 1,000 subscribers in just under 100 days when we first set up our strategy. So actually that's not too bad. I think we're on 13,300 or thereabouts as I speak today. So that's been, again, as I say, the journey of 1,000 steps. We had to start somewhere. So the video marketing for us is very much key to what we are doing. And we know that by setting up our videos, putting out the content regularly on YouTube, occasionally investing in some budget to actually put some Google YouTube ads out there, we know that that works for us. And then the cherry on the top is the social media content. So that also all streams in and starts to tie in with what we are doing. And I'll come to that again. So watch carefully right now, because you're going to see this same slide, but watch, because surprise, surprise, the next stage, the tasks, it's the same breakdown. All these 4 key areas for us as we operate within the business are actually the same as the strategy. The tasks that go around the strategy still sit within those 4 very separate divisions. So each of the teams that are looking after these 4 areas for us have some overlaps, but they are also experts in what they do. So it's important to do that first stage, because that's when you're going to get to this part. And of course, again, watch very carefully, because surprise, surprise, systems, they're also linked to those 4 areas. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in a moment. For us, again, as I said, each of the teams that are looking after those 4 areas have some overlaps, but even within the systems, they are following their own processes. Now, if you're hoping to find a quick, easy fix, a cheat sheet as to how you're going to achieve all of this quickly, I'm afraid there isn't one. But you do need to take stock and sit back and actually plan all of this, because when you do that, you will find that everything then becomes easier. Things have to become a little bit slower initially while you're working and still putting systems in place. But once that hard work is done, you will find that everything is moving really, really fast. We're now at that point from where we started with all our changes in March to where we are now, I think roughly 8 months on now, where we can literally on the turn of a coin flick what we're doing very, very fast, almost within the hour, because the team are so well versed in their processes, they completely get it as to what needs to change, should something need to change very quickly. So to give you an example, the work that we do for our own content marketing and our content creation, as I said, it all takes time. Now it's about being really organized. How can I make my slides really quick? How do we manage to get quite a number of pieces of content? I don't actually know. I'll have to ask the team how many pieces of content we get out in a day if I was to include all the social media posts, etc. It's quite a number, but how does that happen so efficiently? So for example, this is just a screenshot of my blog and video workflow folder, and within that folder is another folder called design assets. And as you will see, there are a number of folders which contain those design assets. Now somebody has had to go through, instruct graphic designer, collate all the information back again, download everything into the correct folders, which means that we can dip in whoever needs to use those assets. They're all organized and everybody knows where to go. But if I was to click in, for example, social media banners as an example, you will see that there are actually 12 different items just for social media banners. And as you can see, we've got YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, there's the zip file containing everything should we need to re-enter it. We've got things set up as transparency. We've also got the JPEGs. There's nothing here now. Whichever item we need, we are ready to go. We just choose the correct item and off we go. This just happens to be one particular style. It may not show up, it's a very small thumbnail there. That's that particular layout, which we call the pastel layout. There will be other folders containing other layouts. So that becomes a huge number of items that you're trying to manage. But if you systemize your folders, you'll be able to access them really easily. Coming to our system side of things, so the other side was the actual content creation. The actual systemizing of these things is done through Asana. We use Asana as our project management tool, and all our team are on Asana so that they know what their tasks are. So for example, in this one, if we skip down to administration, everyone knows what they're all doing. As I was preparing these slides, I did have a little smile. I seem to have managed to get away with only doing one item, which is quite handy, but this is only one half of this screen. So what this means is that people can work on their items. You can see there are a number of individuals all involved. There aren't any due dates because this is, as I say, just a demo screenshot, where everyone could be working simultaneously and nothing is held up. So it doesn't matter that they're all working on different pieces of content. Everyone knows what they've got to do and when they've got to do it by. And similarly here, yes, here's a proper screenshot showing you everyone working simultaneously on the Monday. All these different things need to be happening. Traditionally, that's much harder to do if you're not using a project management software, because you've actually got to manually tell everyone when their task is ready to be handed over to them. Whereas this way we can work as we need to very, very efficiently. And just another handy tip, which I did touch on last week in better detail, was the fact that as things get ticked off by people, looking at the right hand side here, everything is automated. So things will then get automated, pushed on through an Asana inbox. You get the notification to let you know that you're ready to start your task. So again, it keeps the jobs moving really, really fast. It's all very well having digital systems, but I'm just going to touch on the fact that we're all humans at the end of the day, and we've gone from having ad hoc conversations with individual team members to setting up a weekly team meeting where we would have a catch up on what went well the previous week, what needs to improve the coming week, the future work that's coming forward. However, in the last 3 weeks, we've actually gone to a daily team meeting now, which is a real snapshot of the day's activities. And that's actually making us work even faster. So although collectively every team member is now spending, if you add up all the 10 minutes, roughly an hour of the week doing the daily check-ins, that hour is allowing us to work probably 2-3 times faster, because any niggles are being ironed out together while everyone's on the same call without having to rely on message passing, whether that's through WhatsApp, Skype, Slack, Asana itself. It means that you can just crack on with the work much, much faster. So looking at all those tasks, obviously managing all of this is really, really important, because unlike us, content management, content marketing, content creation is not your full-time job. You've actually got a separate business to run, which is very, very different to your marketing side of the business. And this is why I say that the information really needs to be really, really organized. So a miracle for me, I've actually gone through those quite quickly. I'm 5 minutes earlier to normal, so I'm going to check to see if there are any comments or if anyone wants any particular hints on anything. No, I think we're good. Just check that's where hello and easy. Oh yeah, thank you all for those of you that have joined me today. So that was really an overview today of what content creation really is about. It is not about random posts. You need to make sure that you have thought about what you're going to create, then put the pieces in place. So next week, I will be talking in a little bit more detail. How do you sort out your graphics? How do you sort out your video editing? How do you sort out your copywriting? And how do all those pieces of the jigsaw start to fit together? The next week is going to be a slightly more detailed dive into what content creation actually means, the kind of activities you need to do, and then you can worry about the actual posting. So I do hope that you'll be able to join me again next week, where we can go into a deeper dive as to what content creation is all about. And I look forward to sharing my information with you next week. Thank you so much. And I think that's definitely all clear. So with that, I wish you all a great weekend, and I hope you can join me again next week. Thank you so much.